Visualize Hanuman sitting in your heart, which is where he usually sits, and in his heart is Sri Rama. So you look at Hanuman in your heart, and in Hanuman's heart is Sri Rama. Breathing in, take a deep breath in, and we'll chant Om 3 times. Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Now, first of all, I've sent you all one picture. Just open that picture, then it'll be easy to talk. So that I also have the same picture, then when I look at it and I can explain what it is, and you will also be able to understand. So, first, if you see, there are, on the top, there is a big ocean. They are all oceans that are shown here. They are oceans of consciousness. On the top, there is what is called the divine ocean or the supreme higher ocean. It's called Aprakrita Salilam. Salilam means ocean, and like saline, salt water. Aprakrita means it is not the Prakriti type. It's a different quality altogether. Then right down, you have another ocean. It's called the Inconscient ocean, or it's called Hridayat Samudrat. That is the Samudra, the ocean in the heart. Not our heart of Bhakti, in the heart of all creation. That means it is there and it is your potential. It has not started acting. And from this Hridayat Samudrat, that is, it's called the Inconscient ocean, because everything is dark, everything is unformed there. There are only just slight vibrations here and there. And then what happens is, if you look at the picture itself, you will see above the Inconscient ocean, there is another ocean of consciousness that is called the Bhur-Bhuva Suvaha. Bhuhu is the earth, material life. Swaha is the heaven. And in the way, Swaha is what we call in the Puranas. In the Vedic terminology, it's called Dyav. And Bhuvaha is the in-between area between the material and the mental dimension. So you will see that. And just above that, right on top is Jana, Tapa, Satyam. These are the three divine and luminous light regions. In between the Bhur-Bhuva-Swaha and Jana, Tapa, Satyam is the Maharlokam. And the Maharlokam contains the same light that is there in the higher luminous area. And if you see, I've shown you a passage with arrows. This is a passage where human mortals start, and this is our life journey. Every birth, this is what we are trying to do. We move from down below, from the mortal life. Why is it called mortality? Because the body will always die, because it is supported by Panchendriyas, the Pancha Mahabhutas, as I told you the other day. And when the Pancha Mahabhutas go, the body also goes. Because we identify ourselves with the body, the soul is, so to speak, almost dead. Dead in the sense it's unaware. But if you wake up the soul while you are alive in the body, then the soul or the Atma can see itself leaving the body and rising higher. Also, when you practice meditation and when you're going into states of samadhi, when you're completely with the truth, your life has to be with the truth. Your life has to be with the truth, because the truth meaning that which is constantly eternal, that which does not change from day to day, that which will not be transformed. It is as it is. That is called the truth, Satyam. And everything in life has got a potential of Satyam. But because of our false identification with our body and all the bias, prejudice, conditioning that we have had in all various lifetimes, not only this lifetime, social ways of being conditioned and all that, we look at what is false and we think of it as true. So because of that, we have the body dying, the Atma is not alert enough, it doesn't realize what is happening, and the person who looks at the as dead, dying and dead person will say he's gone. But actually he has not gone anywhere. It is only the body that has gone. So when you look at this now, I want you to see the picture. You have the inconscient ocean, that is the darkness, the Ratri, not the regular night that we are seeing, the Ratri of the soul. Above that is the material, the interspace where prana moves, and then the mind. And the mind is called Dhyau. In between that and the higher three worlds of light, where you have Jana, Tapa, Satyam, you have got Maharlok. Maharlok is also called Brihad Dhyau. Brihad means big. It's not the ordinary Dhyau, ordinary heaven. It is something much higher than that. And you have to cross this Brihad Dhyau if you want to reach the Satyam, the truth. So, in this, you will see that as from the inconscient ocean, slowly you have formations of thoughts, pranic energy comes. The whole area is the region or location where Vayu acts. It is the field of Vayu's jurisdiction. And in this Vayu, it comes as pranic energy. And the pranic energy keeps giving you life to do whatever you want to do. It gives your body life, it gives your mind life, and it gives life to all your desires. Now, from this mortality, we want to convert to becoming immortal. We want to find the Amrita, where we have to go higher. So for this, you have to move along this passage, and along the way, if you see in the lower Bhurvaswa area, there is a struggle. That struggle is a lower desire. The lower desire is that you want to go into being a part of something higher. You want to be a dasa of God, or you just want to live with your sense happiness and the sense organs, the indriyas. If you want to go higher, then slowly, the mind will get viveka, and the mind will say, okay, so let me discriminate. This indriya sukham, that is the taste, touch, hearing, vision, speech, all that together. These things are not the same day to day. If I drink a cup of coffee in the morning, by afternoon, I might say, okay, that's enough for today. Or I might drink 10 glasses. 11th glass is a struggle. So it is not the same every time. But when you receive something higher, like a bhakti comes to you, then whatever happens, you say, okay, he is with me, so I can manage anything. You have that guts, and you go around, and this is where we have our first struggle. Then, as you go higher, there is another deity, and that energy or power is called Agni. Agni is called the divine power in man. That is, God or the Paramatma's Sankalpa Shakti is Agni. It is there in every creation, and it is there in human beings also. And now that we are talking of human beings, we'll stick to just that. This Agni is the Sankalpa of Bhagavan or Paramatma, and it comes in your mind as an aspiration to move higher. Just like the fire burns, it is always moving higher. It never burns downwards. Water will go downwards, but fire moves upwards. So, like this, the Agni carries you, comes and pushes you and carries you higher towards your potential, your own potential. You're not going anywhere else. You're with yourself. You can be with your family. You can be a sannyasi. You can be a king. You can be a cobbler. It doesn't matter what you are in life. What it means is that your consciousness becomes more and more refined, more and more refined, and you don't live your life depending on false things or things that change. You live your life depending upon a higher good. You want to give good to other people and you will receive good. So this is the passage we are going, and this great passage was discovered by our ancestors in the old days. They have sat down and they have explored this part within themselves in their own mind, and they have said, look, these are the things that will happen on the way, but these are the ways to handle them. So this is the passage you go, and because Agni is there as a divine power, everything is called a yajna. Your passage, your travel, your journey is called a yajna. Why it's a yajna? Because we are learning slowly, we are learning to give in and submit or surrender to a higher power, saying, okay, this is beyond my capacity. See, now even if you see the corona, we are not going there and sitting in the middle and saying, okay, let me go and fight with this virus. We realize, okay, there is something bigger than us, some other power. Let us trust in that power. So who is that power? Then we go to, our gurus, or we light a lamp, or something happens inside us that makes us trust in something good which will take care. So this is how slowly the Agni opens out and your aspiration becomes a powerful Sankalpa Shakti. Now what happens when you get this Sankalpa Shakti? Just like Vayu was bringing all these thoughts together, when you're thinking, let me go and do something, I'm also suffering, the neighbor is also suffering. If you look in the paper, you will see how many people are feeding the hungry. The railways, the private institutions, people pouring in money. Today I was just reading about a man who was in charge of a crematorium. He was getting 10,000 rupees, which was barely enough to sustain the family. You can think of it. The rent in his house itself will be about 5,000-6,000 at least. And he has 6 people in the family. He had saved 60,000 for his children. He has 4 children. This was to pay for the fees of the daughter who's in the second year PUC or something like that. And he said, somehow later on I'll get the money, I will take a loan or I will struggle somehow. Hello, can you hear me now? Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Swamiji, we can hear you.
Okay. So he said he handed over the entire 60,000 to the Prime Minister's fund because he said, first thing is to save lives. After that, we can think of education. So there are people like this all over the world, and especially in India, you see people bending over backwards to help each other. And this is good work. When you start doing good work, these are good thoughts. These good thoughts are called Maruts, Maruti, Marutta, Maruttagana. There are 11 Maruts. That is, these are the powers or the energies of small thoughts put together. But when they are with 10 powers that are struggling, you need the 11th one also to join the 11th Maruti. Only when all of them join together, the mind becomes concentrated. It is like if I say I'm going to go and give food to somebody, then I think, oh, maybe I will go and teach somebody. Then I think maybe I'll go and give them a place to stay. Now I'm dividing my energy into 10 parts and everything is diluted. Instead of that, if I put it all in one, each one can do one concentrated help. Then we are all effective. So like this, the 10 Maruts, 11 Maruts join together, and with them comes Indra. Till now it was Indriyas. When the thoughts start becoming good, then Indra comes. Who is Indra? You will see all these names written there. Indra is the god of the enlightened mind. In other words, Indra has governs over the indriyas. He tells the mind tells your eyes what to look at, mind tells the ears what to listen to, mind tells the speech what to speak, what to taste, so that you just don't go off your head. It's all very concentrated energy and you're refining yourself. If you know, some people say that this COVID started because people were eating cockroaches and rats and stuff. So everything has to have a certain limit according to our constitution, our metabolism and our common sense. So this is what Indra does. And slowly, slowly, Indra brings your mind to an illumined level. This illumined mind is what is called the Buddhi, perfected Buddhi, with Viveka and Vairagya. When this Buddhi or the enlightened mind goes higher, it gets more refined, then what happens is Agni comes. Till now it was only the Prana Shakti, the Vayu that was giving you thoughts. Now the Agni comes, that is a Sankalpa of the divine. And so what happens is, even if you feel like doing something, you tell yourself that you're not going to do that, you're going to do something specific. So what happens if you look at the story of Buddha? His personal desire was to stay with his child and his wife, Yashodhara. But the greater pull was from a higher force which said, you have come for a purpose, you have to complete that purpose. So he had to leave his wife and child and go on. The same thing with Jesus. When he was on the cross, then he says, I'm surrendering my spirit to you, thy will, not mine, he says. So we have a personal desire and also we have another calling, something higher, the Agni in us. And sometimes we sacrifice that small desire for the sake of not just ourselves, for the whole universe, so that the evolution of mankind can go on and becoming more in the area of truth, becoming more enlightened, becoming more like Devatas. So here you have, now this Agni comes, and Agni when it comes, the Maruti becomes, the 11 together becomes Rudra. Now Rudra is a very strong concentrated force of the divine Sankalpa. Agni becomes Rudra, the Marujana become Rudra. And then now they start moving upwards. And as they move upwards, at a next stage, when you are going to the Maharloka, there is a major crisis. What is this crisis? The crisis is because you are in the area of truth. And in the area of truth, you say, okay, I've achieved so much, I want to go to the Paramatma. And your Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha, all that is struggling to merge with the Paramatma. That is your own potential. But the Paramatma or the potential says, no, you are ready, but you cannot merge until I say so. There is a time for everything. So it becomes like the body and the mind of the sadhaka becomes like a major battlefield. There is struggle, there is darkness, you don't know what to do. And then there is because the Vayu is only the human will, prana, but Agni is the divine will. Divine will means Mahaprana. And in this, Agni, Indra and Surya have to join together. Just look at all these things, because then you will understand when we come to Hanuman itself. So Indra is the master of the mental force, and Vayu is the master of the vital force. Vital means the pranic energy. And both of them have to get together, and these energies have to be pushed up to the aspiring force that is called the mind, the enlightened mind. And what does the enlightened mind have? It has the first mantra vibration. This is what you get as a Guru Diksha. that vibration is protected by Vayu. Because mantra is a vibration, Vayu is the wind, prana. So it vibrates, protects the mantra, and that mantra concentrates the mind, and other distractions are thrown out. Now, when that happens, slowly, all the hidden forms and unmanifested energies of Vayu come up. And these are great parts of the Sankalpa Shakti. Now, when the action becomes more and more full of light, whatever you are feeling and seeing, then all of them join with Indra, which becomes completely, enlightened. And when it becomes enlightened, whatever potential is there in the inconscient ocean that is down below, the subconscient, not subconscious of the Western psychology, it is the total mind, the chitta, which is carrying all this, the good things start coming up and coming out. Now what happens is, the Rudra takes these things up towards the higher area with more and more energy. This is the time when you really need the Guru, when you have the crisis. Because the Maruts are pushing you upwards, the higher mind is in weight. So between the higher intelligence which governs the universe and the seeker wanting to go higher up, there is a major battle. And at this time, the Maruts leave the sadhaka and go to other sacrifices, other people. Now the sadhaka has to coax them back to come. And how does he do that? The first thing is, he accepts the struggle. He doesn't run away from the struggle. Many people, when there is a moral struggle in the mind, they will drop everything and push up. It has nothing to do with me. It is not my problem. I don't want to think about it. I will not make a decision. Why should I do it? She only made the problem, so why should I get into it? This is the sort of thing we do without realizing we are all actually one consciousness. When we realize that we are all one consciousness and we are all one, we are not just together. Together means five things joining. This is not five things joining. This is all of us are one consciousness. When you realize that the divine is in me, it is in you, it is in the person who is cruel, it's in the person who's nice, then you realize that everything is the divine consciousness. And when you realize that everything is the divine consciousness, you realize the struggle does not belong to somebody else. Someone else's struggle is your struggle. Somebody else is getting hurt, it is your hurt. So what does this person do? You can't get away. You can't run away from struggle, this main struggle, which is the crisis. Because wherever you go, this will follow you. That's why sometimes Swamiji used to say, if you don't finish your karmas and you just take sannyas and go to the ashram, the whole world will follow you there in your mind. You may have left your home, you might have left your place of work, but it will all follow you there. It will be in your mind and it will cause difficulties and dharma sankata, that's called. So what does the sadhaka have to do now? He has to acknowledge that the fierceness of the struggle is there. It is mine. Wherever it is, what everybody is suffering, the coronavirus is not only China's problem. It is not America's problem. It is not only in Delhi. It is my problem. Everybody who is suffering is part of who I am. So they accept that crisis, and such a person not only accept the crisis, he or she accept it as part of anugraham. You accept it as part of anugraham because he says, okay, in this there is some blessing, something is there that is good in this. Let me find out what good there is. So instead of cribbing and being miserable about all the difficulties, you start seeing God's hand in everything and you say, okay, this difficulty has come so that he has given me the difficulty, so I will go higher. When he does this, the sadhaka creates the form of God in his consciousness. So today, for example, we are thinking of Anjaneya and we create the form of Anjaneya and we fix it in our mind through the mantra of Anjaneya. So, so, so the mantra doesn't bother with the conscious mind. You can lie, you can smoke, you can steal, you can have an anxiety, and then we think, how is it I've got a mantra and then I'm the same person like before, nothing is happening. The point is, it is happening, it keeps transforming you at your subconscious and unconscious level. We are not enough evolved to have contact with the subconscious and unconscious mind. So we don't see the transformation that is happening, but the transformation goes on happening. And these maruts will obey a higher power than a personal impulse. They help the sadhaka to surrender to the immortal and increase his obedience to a true path. So that way, the sadhaka goes higher and higher past the Mahatma. And this is what happens with Hanuman, Anjaneya. Now you look at that picture and let me tell you. You will see Vishnu and Shiva above. Vishnu is the sustaining force of the universe. Shiva is the destroying force of the universe. So you remember Ravana and Kumbhakarna are Jaya and Vijaya. They have come, they have a great devotion to Vishnu, but Vishnu says, because you have to be separated from me, and they choose to have only 3 lifetimes so they can come quickly to him. So he says, okay, then you must hate me, because when you hate somebody or something, you go on thinking about it. When you love someone, you don't think so much, you take it for granted. So Vishnu is the sustaining force, and they come down with his blessings that they will hate him for 3 janmas. Now Vishnu and Shiva are not 2 different energies. It's the same energy. When it is destroying, it becomes Shiva. When it is sustaining, it becomes Vishnu. When it is creating, it becomes Brahma, because there is only one Paramatma. So there is actually no difference except in portfolio between Vishnu and Shiva. It's like if Sridhar is going to office, he is an employee in the office. If he is at home, and if he is the father of his children, then he is a father. They are not 2 different people. They are just 2 different actions that he is doing. So Vishnu and Shiva are like that. That is why Shiva is called very, very beneficent. Ashutosh is his name, like Vishnu. And Vishnu can be like Rudra because he is Narsimha. So both of them have both the qualities. So here you have Anjaneya. Anjaneya is the son of Agni as Rudra, and Anjaneya is also the son of Vayu because it is a life force. It is in that way that you say he is Vayuputra and is also Rudra form. And then you have Vishnu coming down as an avatar, as Sri Rama, and you have Sita as Mahalakshmi coming down. And actually, Sri Rama, who is Vishnu, he is coming to destroy Ravana and give him liberation. So, in that sense, he is the Shakti that destroys. And Sita, who is Mahalakshmi, comes and she is the one who has written the script for the whole Ramayana. She comes deciding she will be sent to the forest. She comes deciding that she will be kidnapped by Ravana. And then she comes thinking that now then Rama has to come and liberate me, bring me back, and in the process kill Ravana and help him finish his second life of hating Vishnu. So to that extent, Sri Rama is the Shakti of Shiva and Sita is Shiva himself in that way. So then they are both married And when they are married, Ravana, see where Ravana is at the higher level because he's a very great Vedic scholar. He's a person who's done tremendous amount of tapas, surrendered to 10 Rudras, not to the 11th who comes as Anjaneya. In fact, there is a story that when Sri Rama went to Lanka, he wanted to do his father's ritual every month or whatever. And one time, who did he call to do the rituals? Because who was better than Rama also, who knew the Shastra very well, was Ravana. So he asks Ravana to come as the Purohit and do the obsequies for his father. Ravana comes and with being very neutral there, all the anger is forgotten. He becomes the Purohit for that situation. And after that, Rama asks him, what Dakshina can I give you? And Ravana says, give me Sita. So what does Rama say? He says that can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, Swamiji, we can hear. Hello.
Just one.
We can hear, Swamiji.
Okay. So he says that you must ask Sita's husband because here I am Dasharatha's son. You see, it's like that. Ravana was a great master. He has composed ragas and he only had this attraction for Shiva. And earlier on, he was asked Jaya and Vijaya, one of them, he was told that he will suffer from being separated from Vishnu, the Lord, just like he made the Sanatana brothers suffer. That's why he comes down to earth to hate. And so Sita as Shiva or Sita as Mahavishnu in the angry state, destruction, she is called the destruction force in the Ramayana. She makes the agenda for the destruction of Ravana. So he keeps Sita in the Ashokavana, and just like this Sanat Kumara brothers went through an agony of separation from Vishnu, he also goes through the same agony of separation from Sita, who is none other than Shiva, and Shiva, who is the angry Vishnu. So she is called the death in that. So when she is carried away, see, Rama is crying, Lakshmana is worried, the trees have stopped blowing, the wind stops, the ocean stops, and the birds and animals, they are so shocked because he's carrying Sita away and they are all crying, what is happening? It's a terrible thing to happen. But Brahma says, very happily, he says, now our goal has been satisfied. Our wish is satisfied. Because he has taken Sita away, now Rama will go and fight and kill Ravana. Otherwise, he would have had no reason to fight with Ravana. And so Ravana will be liberated from that hateful body. So now you see this here, you look at the whole Ramayana, keeping all this in mind. This is clear, no? It's clear for you?
Yes, Swamiji, it's clear.
Okay. So now, Hanuman, when he is a child, what does he do? He tries to eat the sun. He goes jumping to the sun and he tries to eat it because he thinks it's a big orange. But Indra comes and throws the Vajrayudham at him and he falls down and breaks his jaw. That is why he is called Hanuman. Hanuman means one with a broken jaw. You know why? When we decide to do something, and we are very determined, very stubborn, you'll see people will bite their teeth with the lower jaw jutting out. I will do this. That determination was broken by Indra because he said, this is not the time. So that is how Indra brings down and he says to Hanuman's father, we'll all give him life, but there is only one thing, he will not remember his strength until he is reminded of his strength, his potential at a particular point. Till then he won't remember, otherwise he'll be creating havoc everywhere. So one of the gurus, one of the gods there, also gives him a boon that he will not be hurt by any of the Pancha Mahabhutas, neither by air, by Akasha, by water, fire, earth. Now you must remember Sita is Bhumi Devi. She comes as Bhumi Devi. She's born of the earth. And she has been carried away by Ravana. Until then, she throws her jewelry down and it falls among 5 monkeys who are sitting together on top of a mountain peak, Rishyamukh mountain. And in the Shastra, 5 is a very auspicious number. If you go 5 people together, whatever you're going for is supposed to be successful. If you start something on the 5th of the month, it's very auspicious. So, like that, Panchamam Karya Siddhi, they will say. So, 5 together are sitting, and these are Sugriva and his friends, because Sugriva and Vali are brothers. They have fallen out. Vali has taken over Sugriva's kingdom and his wife. Now, when Rama came down, the gods came down as Amshas to help Rama in this major fight. Indra came down as Vali. Indra's son is Vali. Sugriva is the son of Surya Bhagwan. So you will see that Indra is there up till the first Bhur-Bhuvaswaha. After that, for the Maharloka, you need the Shakti of Surya. Surya is nothing but the light of Vishnu. When Vishnu's luminosity is seen, it's called Surya because it energizes the whole world and sustains it. Here, Surya's son is Sugriva and Indra's son is Vali. So, when Sugriva and Vali falls out, the 2 or 3 monkeys, Anjaneya, for example, goes with Sugriva. He chooses to go with Surya, who is at a higher dimension, as against Indra, which is a illumined mind, but it is still not a mind that has been completely liberated. But Vali, what he has done is, he has made all the monkeys into a team. He has made them all together. That is what Indra does. All the Maruts, all the thoughts are brought together, and Vali has brought all the monkeys together except Sugriva and 2-3 of his friends. So when Vali is killed, that is the enlightened mind is put away, the monkeys have to go towards the cosmic mind. You cannot stay with your own illumined mortal mind. You have to go into the superconscious mind. So that is why they show that Vali is killed, and then Paramatma comes. That is when Hanuman meets Sri Rama, and having met him, Vali is killed in the battle, and Sugriva, Sita has been kidnapped, and Paramatma gives Sugriva, that is Surya Bhagavan's son, the charge of all the monkeys and to go like the commander-in-chief for the fight, for finding Sita and the rest of it. So now you see how the Vedic understanding comes in to know how your own journey is. You are Sita, you are Rama, you are Anjaneya, but you don't see all of it. We all see ourselves just as a physical body listening to this. So when you have to move into the Maharloka, you have to have certain accomplishments. You can't just go with this physical body. You will find some people want to go with the physical body to heaven and Maharloka liberation, and Brahma says, no, you can't come here. You have to leave the physical body and come only with your Sukshma Sharira, which is the Sharira made of your mantra vibrations. So what does Hanuman do here? He has been sent by Sri Rama to find Sita. And now you will see, when he goes, Rama gives him his ring. The ring is called the Mudra, the Raja Mudra. That is the king. As the king, he has the ring which is just like fingerprint, when big people write a document those days, they would dip the ring into this boiling wax and they'll put it as the insignia. So like that, what happens is, Anjaneya has been given that ring. See, Rama tells everybody to go, but actually inside he knows the person who will find it will always be Anjaneya only, because he knows Anjaneya's capability. So in the Ramcharitmanas also, you will find that this area that you call the Maharloka, Brihadyau, is the Vijnanamaya Kosha. This Vijnana, in the Ramcharitmanas, there are two Vijnanis only in the Ramcharitmanas. One is Valmiki and Hanuman is the other. Because anybody can meet Sita in Videhanagar, that is in Mithila. But it is difficult to meet her in the Dehanagar. That is, you're not able to see the divine in the body, Deha. Without the body, you can say, okay, I know God is there. But you don't see God in your colleagues, in your friends, in your enemies. You don't see in that body. You think this is a person. So at that time, when Shiva says, I'll go as a monkey to help Rama, Parvati also wants to go. Shiva says, no, I'll go as a brahmachari because you are a distraction. So what she does, she sits on his tail. That's why in the battle, you will see his tail is up. And you will see his tail at the end has a bell. So whenever you want success in anything and you want to worship Hanuman, you get a picture of or a statue in which the tip of the tail is seen with a bell on top. That is Shakti's way of saying that she will give success. Okay. So when Hanuman takes the ring from Rama, he becomes the Guru. He gets the Abhaya Hastam of the Lord and the authority. Then he goes to Sita, and what does he bring back? He brings back what is called the Shiro Bhushanam, the ornament of her head. What is the ornament of your head? It is nothing but surrender. Sharanagati, back to Lord. God says to the Guru, go tell my devotee that I will come and I will bring the devotee to me. I will help the devotee to reach me. And that is what he tells the Guru. Guru comes and tells you that when he gives you mantra. And what does the disciple do? The Jivatma will say, I'm placing my head. Please tell God that I have surrendered to him. That is what Sharanagati is. So in the Ramayana, there are 3 weddings. One is the real wedding, Sita Kalyanam. One is the Sita Kalyanam in real, where it happens in Mithila. The second is when Sita talks about it fully to Atri and his wife, Anasuya. She relives the whole thing. That's the second Sita Kalyanam. And the third Sita Kalyanam is what only the Guru can do, because when he gives the Diksha or Mantra Diksha, he has already created a marriage between the Atma and Paramatma, Sukshma Sharira. The marriage is already done. Then it's only a question of the time when it has to be seen. And the same way when Hanuman goes to Lanka, and you all know the story, how he burns up everything. He goes and meets Vibhishana. And only after meeting Hanuman, Vibhishana meets Sri Rama, meaning that he has to meet the Guru before he meets Paramatma. And later on, he only conveys Rama's coming to Sita and Bharata. He also wished to give Ravana the Ramnam Diksha, because Ravana was a great Shiva Bhakta, remember, and Rudra is Shiva. So it was Shiva who stood in front of him as Hanuman when he came to tell him, give back Sita to Rama. He wanted to give him the Ramnam Diksha. But Ravana did not want to take it. He says, I will not bend before anybody. And he sets his own Guru's tail on fire. And Hanuman says he meets Shani Bhagavan in Lanka, and he says, I'm going to burn Lanka completely. And Shani says to him, you can't burn it fully because you have given Diksha to another disciple, that is Vibhishana. Lanka now belongs to Vibhishana, he said. So this is how you have to understand Hanuman as. In fact, when Tulsidas one time he was asked to give kripa to people, so he asked, what sort of kripa do you want, like Rama or like Sita, the father or the mother? He was told more than both together. Then he said, okay, then like Hanuman, he said. So, when Hanuman goes to Sita to talk about the Rama waiting for her, she gives him Diksha. She gives Diksha to two people in the Ramayana. One is to Bharata when he comes to call Rama back. And secondly, she gives Diksha to Hanuman. Because Hanuman, in his Kundali horoscope, it was said that this child will be a jnani, but not too much bhakti. So she was the one who gave him the bhakti diksha. So when he came to her, he tells her, Dutoham, I'm messenger for Rama. When he goes, he says, Dasoham, I'm Rama's dasa. So she gives him the bhakti diksha and she gives him a mantra which keeps everything sweet. She said, keep Rama's feet in your heart. That is the diksha I'm giving you. So there is a story that when they were going back in the Pushpaka Vimana after Ravana died, Ravana asked Lakshmana, we have traveled so many places. We went to Chitrakoot, we went to Panchavati, Lanka, everywhere. Which journey did you like the best? So he says, from the arms of a saint to the lap of Bhagavan. Because when Jatayu was killed by Ravana and Rama places Jatayu on his lap and he sort of gives him moksham there and he weeps over him. Lakshmana had a little bit of a desire. I wish I also could be on Rama's lap like that. And for that, when Indrajit hits Lakshmana with the arrow and Lakshmana falls, Indrajit tries to pick him up, pick up Lakshmana so he can take him off to Lanka. He tries and tries, he's not able to. Then Hanuman comes up and he picks him up like as if he's picking a flower. And he takes Lakshmana and puts him on Rama's lap. So that is what Lakshmana says, from the arms of a saint to the lap of Bhagavan. So that is the importance that Hanuman had. Now, if you go into Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, in the Vibhuti Pada, you have a situation where anybody who has mastery over the 5 elements, that is the Panchabhutas, gets Ashta Siddhi. That person gets a perfection of body. That is why in Sundarakanda, when he is crossing the ocean, it is called the Mahar Loka. That is he is crossing, if you look in your chart that I gave you, it is not just an ocean, it's the ocean of Vijnana, where you need to have tremendous faith in the truth and allegiance, loyalty to the truth as a value, not as the right and wrong. Today, that's why I sent you something by Devdutt Patnaik. It was a nice way of talking about Ramayana and Mahabharata, in which he says in the Mahabharata, when this Draupadi was being disrobed, people were Bhishma and Drona. These were great people who had great wisdom. They were sitting and they were discussing whether it is legal or not legal to disrobe her. They did not, they went by the rights and wrongs, the written word, the rules, but they didn't follow the spirit of what the rules were for. So, when Vibhuti Pada, we're coming back to it, mastery over the 5 elements, and capacity, perfection of body, so he's called Sundara, that's why it's called Sundara Kanda when he crosses the ocean. Overcoming the obstructions of the Panchabhutas. That is why they say he goes to Bhumi Devi, that is Sita, that's the earth, flying to meet her in Akasha through the power of Vayu and over the ocean, which is water. And then he goes to Lanka and sets it on fire. So all 5 elements were within his grasp. And there is also an old tradition where people used to have the fire in their houses burning when you had the old logs. Then you do not borrow fire from somebody's house. If you borrow it, you have to return that fire. You don't take it home because that fire will also be used for the funeral fire at the end, that fire that is kept in the house. So they say, don't take somebody else's fire. If you take it, return it. So this is what Anjaneya was showing. When Ravana gave him the fire, he burnt the whole of Lanka, gave it back to Ravana in that way. Now, when the yogi gets this vibhuti, the Ashtasiddhis, he becomes the object of respectful invitations from these devatas. That is what Patanjali says. You get what is called a Madhu Pratika. That is enjoyment of siddhis like honey. But you must have freedom from Prakriti for this. That is, you cannot have even the smallest desire. Otherwise, you get a lot of psychic agitations. So when you are completely in, you have tasted the honey of siddhis, but with the help of Surya and Agni, you go through the struggle and you see the light of pure consciousness, which you will see only if you do not have any desires, any personal ambitions. Then you get complete vairagya. And when you get that complete vairagya, you do not even care for moksha. You only want to be a dasa of the divine. So if these siddhis are used for anything for your own purpose or for your own pride, there will be a terrible damage to your consciousness. That is why they say at every level you must be very, very alert. You should use it only for the common good of people. So what are the Ashtasiddhis? They are Mahima, that is growing big. When he stood before Swayam Prabha, that is while searching for Sita, he goes to a place where when the monkeys are tired with him in his team, they go to a place where there is a sadhvi called Swayam Prabha, and she has been cursed by Indra, that is her own enlightened mind, for bringing a celestial friend of hers as a gift for Mayasura. So she tampered with the Siddhi because she could go up and down, and she was punished. So she was punished. She had to stay and do penance in that place. And she was to be liberated only when Hanuman came on Rama's errand. So how to get out of the place where she was? Hanuman became huge, that is Mahima. He tore open the Akasha created by Brahma and he sent Swayam Prabha to the celestial world. So he became big. And then when the gods called Surasa, a psychic, a serpent, and they said, this Hanuman is coming to help Sita, but can he handle such a big responsibility? We want you to go and test him. So when he is flying over the ocean to go to Lanka, she comes as a huge demon-like. And she says, I have to eat you because I'm hungry. So he says, let me go to Lanka, give the message and come back, then you can eat me. She said, no, I'm hungry now, not afterwards. So nothing, he could not help it, so he had to. So what he did was he became huge. Then she opened her mouth and became big. Then he became bigger than her mouth. She opened it big, some more, like 1 mile. Then he was 1 mile. She made it 2 miles, like that. And finally, what happened was suddenly he became very small, Lagima, light. And he entered her mouth and came out. He said, you only wanted me to enter the mouth I've entered your mouth and come out. So they knew that he was not just strong, he also had buddhi. He also knew how to handle all this difficult situation um, without getting tied up with the rules. Then when Jambavan tells him, you cannot be destroyed by the fire, the wind, or water, he says, you have the capacity to distinguish good from bad. That is, he is reminding him of his qualities. You have the viveka. That is what the Guru reminds us also. You can grow as big as Mount Meru, and you can also shrink so that you can pass to a drop of water. And you can touch the sun with your hand, because why? The sun, Surya Deva, is Anjaneya's Guru. It is Surya Deva who tells him, when Hanuman learned from him, he said, what dakshina can I give you? He said, look after my son Sugriva. So then Garima, weight, prapti, prakamya, all these qualities. Prakamya is getting whatever you want. Prapti, being able to go to any place without any difficulty on the way. Can we take another 5 minutes?
Sure, Swamiji.
Okay. So he he is able to go into Lanka itself, and he is the one who chants Rama mantra constantly, which is called the Taraka mantra, which helps you to go into any place that you want, right up to the Paramatma, till he can get moksha when he wants. But he refuses it. He says, what's the problem now that you are in my heart? Whether I'm with you there or whether I'm here on the earth, Naraka, anywhere I go, you're with me, so I don't have to get liberation for that. I would rather stay here wherever your name is being chanted. So, when Sita asked him, how can you manage all this? He shows us his size and he says, don't worry, I'm only a small chap in that group. There are many other Vanaras who are so much more powerful than I am. So he was always very humble. When Rama asks a question for anybody, he always stood at the back. He never said, I know. When Vibhishana came and then Rama asked, Sugriva, should we take him in? Yes, Angada, should we take him in? Hanuman was there. But only at the end, Rama asks Hanuman, he says, you have met Vibhishana, should we take him? Then Hanuman gives his opinion. He doesn't go in between and do what is called micromanaging. Then that is the main thing. And then we can go on talking about Hanuman till tomorrow morning. But this is what is the most important thing that you should know. There is another aspect of Hanuman that is called Panchamukha Anjaneya. You might have seen, that's a picture I sent to you. And maybe along the course of the coming classes, I might tell you the meaning of Panchamukha Anjaneya. If you ask me at that time, because now I notice it's exactly 9 o'clock. So this is the much about Anjaneya. So that's why they say when you don't have any other recourse in life, if you don't have a guru, make Hanuman your guru. And what is Hanuman's mantra? It is Om Hari Markataya Swaha. So remember that, you can keep it and you can chant it if you want when you are in difficulty. Om Hari Markataya Swaha. And his bija mantram is Hroum. Hroum. You can say Om Hroum Hari Markataya Swaha. If you want to do it 108 times, do it every day. And there is much more, but I'm not going to go into all that right now. So why was Panchamukha Hanuman? He was called Panchamukha Hanuman because when one of Ravana's sons was a great tantric, he had picked up Rama and Lakshmana and he had kept them as captive, and only Hanuman can go and defeat him and bring them back. And one of the things was that he had to go inside. He had to fight with different people, and there were 5 lamps at 5 sides and one in the center. And Anjanaya had to blow out all the 5 lamps at the same time to break Mahiravana's power. So he took 5 phases. One phase was as his own face, Hanuman, facing east. That is the purity of the mind. Then Varaha facing north, which is for prosperity and wealth. Narasimha facing south, victory and fearlessness. Garuda on the west to remove black magic and poison. Hayagriva on the sky, knowledge and having good wisdom. These were the 5 phases that he took. Meaning that, we always say there is only one Paramatma. This Paramatma comes as Hanuman, as a Dasa. And because of who he is, he can take any qualities. He takes 5 qualities. His own quality, Varaha, Narsimha, Garuda, Hayagriva. These are the 5 phases of Panchamukha Hanuman. And this Panchamukha Hanuman mantra is Om Hraum Hari Markataya Swaha. So may Hanuman look after all of us. And with all that, he is very, very humble and submissive. Let us get his blessings to bring the whole world into this critical phase, into health and happiness. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So tomorrow you can use that mantra when you light the lamp and pray to Hanuman. Any questions? Okay, so we'll end it, okay?
Okay, Swamiji.
Unless you have a question. Hari Om, Hari Om. Nobody has a question, no?
Swamiji, one question was there. Like I had posted on WhatsApp. Can I take it now?
Yes, please.
We come across so many people in our everyday lives. Some are always positive and some are always negative. Is this because of karma or something else?
It is because they choose to be negative or positive. And why do they choose? Because they've been brought up from childhood to go on seeing something only negative in everything. They've learned how to be miserable. They've learned how to be constantly whining about something. And family, the mother or the father or somebody has not taught them along the way, don't do that. Because you're damaging yourself. What the family does is, they also grumble about everything. So it becomes like a habit pattern. So when you realize that it is not taking you anywhere and it's creating difficulty for you, you immediately shift. There is a crisis, there is difficulty, but at the same time, acknowledge, like I told you for the Rudras, you acknowledge that it is there and God must have given this difficulty to me for a particular reason, because God cannot do anything harmful. I am His child. So you trust in the divine, and with that trust you go ahead, and suddenly you will find some of these things are removed, or sometimes you will go through a difficulty but you will come out stronger, and that strength will remind you that actually there was something positive. Now you see with Corona, so many people are saying we never got to spending so much time with family. We learned to help each other. We are seeing India going around feeding how many lakhs people in different places. People have allowed servants to go and on pay, even though the higher levels, everything is shut down, even businesses are struggling, but people are doing good to each other. Where do you get this sort of thing happening except in a crisis? So there is always a good, and once you see that goodness, then you must hold on to it. Never forget it. The next time difficulty comes, remember this. And in the same way, when somebody else comes also, they are always miserable about something. Tell them once, twice, thrice. Then after that, if they continue to be miserable all the time, don't go near them in the beginning, because then you will pick up those vibrations and you will also start being, maybe you'll have doubt, you'll have, maybe he's right, maybe there is a point to it. And before you know what happens, the vibration will catch on from that person's mind to your mind, because you're not yet strong enough. So once you have established the divinity in your heart, then you can go ahead like Hanuman and meet any difficulty and you will have it. So that is why it happens. It's not as much karma as choosing a vasana. Karma makes you do something. That is, you are struggling with something. But you can choose your vasana. No? It brings up the good and the bad to you. And in life, you have seen so many people having something good after struggling so much. You can think of that. Why do you choose to think of something miserable? So that's the way it is. It's not karma, it's a responsibility, a personal choice.
Thank you so much. Okay, Swamiji, we'll end the session here today. Thank you very much. It was very nice today.